everybody, it's a stay-at-home reader again, and I'm happy to have you join me as I show you what all I got from the library yesterday. And I love going to the library. It's one of my favorite days of the month. I go probably more than I should, and I probably pick up more books than I should, but I promise this time I had a list. It just didn't go to plan. Anyways, let me take a sip of my coffee so I can have some courage, because every time I start one of these videos I get a little bit nervous, and a sip of coffee helps me feel better. Also, check out this walrus. It's cute. Okay, anyway. First, I'm going to start with what we picked up at the library, and then I'm going to go into what my TBR for Summerween is, because I am super excited. Fall and Halloween are my favorites, and I didn't know about Summerween until this year, so the premise made me super excited. It is July 7th, lasting until the 13th. If you want to join, there's an Instagram account that you can follow, and it's hosted by Gabbyreads and Oliviareadsalatte if you want to check it out. Anyways, as I was saying about the library, I had a list on my phone, picked out of the books that I was going to grab really quickly. That didn't work out. Once I got in there, I knew where everything was. I knew where each book that I wanted to pick up was, because I go there so often. But none of them were there. They were all checked out. It seems like someone had the exact same idea that I did. And one of those, unfortunately, was Heir of Fire, which I'm hoping to do a Throne of Glass vlog later on, but until I can get that, it's put on the back burner for the moment. Anyways, I ended up getting 8 books from the library this time. And some of those go with the Summerween, and then the others I have on my tablet that I'll share with you. But without further ado, let's just jump into the library haul that I have, so we don't make this video an hour long just talking about books, except that would be lovely. I just don't want to bore you. Anyways, starting off with this lovely thick paperback that I got. It's called The Book of Kings. I've never heard of it before. I was just going through the shelves and I didn't have any paperback, and paperback is my favorite, especially when it's floppy. And it just seems like one of these books that I could just binge read and get really emotional about. And it is about World War II, and it says it tracks Germany's drift towards Nazism from 1932, when a quartet of students at the Sorbonne, David and Johannes, both German, Justin, a French scholarship student, and Duncan, an American with an attachment to old Europe, share an apartment, and it weaves the stories of these 4 men whose lives mirror the larger picture of time during the war effort. And if you know me, I love books that make me want to cry. I also love books about World War II. This just seems like it's going to do both. I feel like it's going to destroy me in the best way. It's going to make me severely unwell. And I think I might pick it up first, depending on what my mood is, because even though I'm going to try to do a TBR every month on my videos, I have a feeling that's not going to work out, because I've recently discovered I'm a bit of a mood reader. But that's okay, we'll just see where it takes us and see what we're in the mood for, and that's all fine. Anyways, next we have a classic, because I've been trying to get more into those, because as I have grown into adulthood, I've realized I've hardly read any classics, except for the ones that we had to read in high school. I don't believe I've read any until the past 2 years. But I really, as I said in my first video, I really loved Pride and Prejudice. So I've heard really great things about this one as well, and I'm really excited to pick it up too. And of course it's Anna Karenina. And if you don't know what it's about a it doesn't tell me what it's about. Maybe it's that popular that it doesn't have a synopsis on it, and I'm just supposed to know what it's about. Unfortunately, I don't. I know it's about a marriage. That's about it. But we'll learn more as we get into it. I opened it up and I thought it was in German for a second, so that's we don't know German here. We could learn, but that would probably take forever, and I'm getting off a subject. The next book I picked up is Jig. I picked it up because it looked really interesting with the wolf on the cover, and it says mystery, and we all love a good mystery in this house. And it says, they call him Jig the Dancer, because of his deftness at killing, his nimbleness at eluding capture. He is the IRA's top assassin. Now Jig has come to America to get back $10 million that was raised for the IRA by misguided American supporters and then stolen. And then there is a British counter-terrorist hot on his trail. So, we'll see what that's about. I'd say that this one is at the bottom of my list at the moment, just because Summerween's coming up and I have a bunch of mystery, horror, thriller books that I need to get to for that. And so, we'll see if we come around to this. If not, no big deal. I can always renew the loan. Okay, and next we actually have a sci-fi, which I'm not all too familiar with sci-fi. I rarely pick them up, but I decided to try. Especially because I've heard a lot about this author, Andy Weir. I think I'm saying that right. Don't know. But it's The Martian. And it's just... the cover drew me in, and it's about an astronaut, one of the first people to walk on Mars. Now he's sure he'll be the first person to die there. And it says in a little paragraph at the top, a mission to Mars, a freak accident, one man's struggle to survive. And I just thought that was really interesting. Plus the cover kind of drew me in with the little astronaut. I just think this would be a good change of pace from my usual reads. And if anybody's ever read this before, let me know in the comments what you thought, and maybe it'll move it up closer to the top of what I'm gonna start reading first. And then we have the popular Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, and it's a Netflix series. Everybody talks about it. It has been on BookTube, BookTalk, Bookstagram for so long. I still haven't gotten to it. I'm disappointed in myself, but I am also going to make this into a vlog when I'm able to. So this might be closer to the top just so I could get that vlog out and uploaded. And it is about an orphaned and expendable Alina Starkov, a soldier who knows she may not survive her first trek across the Shadowfold, a swath of unnatural darkness crawling with monsters. But when her regiment is attacked, Alina unleashes dormant magic not even she knew she possessed. So that sounds interesting to me. I feel like I'm the only one around here that doesn't know what the Grisha-verse is about. So I'm gonna have to hop on this train. And soon. I've never rode on a train. So there's a first time for everything. Okay, I promise we're almost done with the library haul portion. It's a bit of a long one. I got carried away since they didn't have the books that I originally prepared for. But anyways, next we have this little bit of floppy ASMR. We have Ken Follett's The Evening and the Morning. It is a prequel to The Pillars of the Earth. I have not seen The Pillars of the Earth at my library yet. Maybe they don't have it, but that's what I originally was going for, and then I saw that they had the prequel, and so I was like, let me just pick that up, see what it's about, see if I like it, and then we'll see about getting the next book. And it is about a young boat builder's life turned upside down when his home is raided by Vikings. Never read a book about Vikings. Nice. Norman noblewoman marries for love, which you should do, by the way, following her husband across the sea to a new land with shockingly different customs, where everyone is engaged in a constant brutal battle for power. I can't even talk today. How am I supposed to read if I can't even speak the language I grew up on? God. Anyways, this sounds really interesting as well. Should have known it was about a Viking because there's like a little Viking on here. But, you know, my brain's not where it's supposed to be, so... Okay. Then the next one is one that everybody is talking about again, and I haven't read it yet, so I need to get on it. And it is Stephen King's fairy tale. I honestly don't know what this is about at all, but Stephen King and fantasy. So, yeah. That's where I'm gonna leave that, is Stephen King and fantasy, like, come together. Because if you want to go in and read this blind, which I usually do, then I'm not gonna be the one to spoil the main premise of it. And we need to get through this video because I feel like I'm taking forever. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I just feel it in my bones. Anyways, we have one more library book that I picked up yesterday, and it is going to be the transition book to the Summerween TBR, and that is the graphic novel I'm going to read for Summerween, and that is Through the Woods. I have watched this movie, and it was really good, and it's gothic stories, and look at how stunning this art is. Like, really? I picked a good one. But that is for the graphic novel prompt of Summerween. And so let's get on to the books on my tablet, because that's what we'll be reading the rest of the Summerween TBR on. And the first one is for the prompt of a book with a black or orange cover, and this one has both. It is Grady Hendrix's How to Sell a Haunted House. I honestly didn't know what this was about either, but I loved Grady's book, A Southern Guide to Slaying Vampires, and apparently this one is about a woman named Louise who finds out her parents have died, and so she's going home to sell their childhood home. And she doesn't want to get mixed up with her brother because they don't really get along, but they have to in order to sell the home, and apparently the home doesn't want to be sold. So it's giving me Monster House vibes. If you've watched that movie, which I believe everybody should have in their childhood because it was so good and it's like a staple, that's what this is giving me, like an adult Monster House feel. So I'm excited for that one. I'm excited for most of the books on my TBR, honestly. Now, if I can navigate technology, we'll get to the rest of them. Okay. And then my thriller book for the thriller prompt is The Whisper Man by Alex North. And it is about a serial killer, I believe, who targets younger boys, I think. I go in blind with most of this, so I'm just going off the top of my head here. But, and the only way you know you're being targeted is because you hear the man whispering outside of your window. I'm gonna have to read this one with the lights on. But the next one is my set in fall prompt, and it might also be my read in the dark prompt because it's an audiobook, so I feel like I could get away with that more easily. And it's My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. And I'm not gonna go in too deep with this one because most people I feel have already read it if they want to, except for me because I'm lame and I'm slow. But it's basically like a little slasher type vibe, which I love old classic slasher movies, so I feel like this one would be great, especially for Summerween. And then I think I got all the prompts. If not, that's okay. But as a bonus book, if I happen to get through all of those, I'm going to pick up The School for Good and Evil, which was a Netflix movie. I'm not sure if it's still on there or not, but once again, my friend Linka, who I'm going to be mentioning a lot in my videos, I feel like, because I've already mentioned her in every single one so far, she convinced me to watch this, and I thought it was adorable. So I'm going to be reading through this series, and I thought it would be like a cute little cozy read to kind of mix up the hard, dark books I have for Summerween already. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with what I have so far, and that's my library haul and my Summerween TBR. I'm hoping to vlog the Summerween reads. We'll see if we get to it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that lengthy conversation that we just had. And I hope you guys have a lovely day. Stay lovely, my little chapters, and I'll see you in the next one.